Good day guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to sew a corset with a bra cup, with an already made bra cup. So I'll be cutting out the pattern first. Please do not forget to subscribe. This is my center front. I'll be cutting out my front first. So I'll place ½ inch. As you can see, this is the way I placed it. I'll mark out ½ inch at the center front. I'll mark it down to the length of your half length, or you add like extra 5 inches. I'll mark it down. I'll draw my line. Then with your bra cup, it depends on your bust size. It ranges from as low as 32 upwards. So you place your bra cup this way, exactly the way I placed it, so that the points will be at the edge, at the line where I marked that ½ inch. So the ½ inch is unfold. Remember, it will be 1 inch when you open it. So the 1 inch will just be the distance between the two breasts. So you place your bra cup like this and measure out your under bust. Guys, you'll be working with your under bust here. So the under bust I'm working with is 14. I'll mark 14. So this is my under bust. Her bust point is 11. As you can see, all those things are inside there already. This is 14. Then I will mark my half length 17.5, and I will add extra 2 inches or 3 inches for allowance. I'll go ahead and rule these lines. So after ruling my lines, I'll go ahead and label the lines, my under bust, my half length, and my allowance. So the next thing I will do right now is to measure my dart. So her dart, her bust, but I'll measure 4 inches there because of the ½ inch that I've marked out already for the bust distance. So from there, I'll mark half inch on both sides of my dart. I'll pick my dart with ½ inch on both sides. So I'll go ahead and draw my line. First of all, we'll draw a line that will connect the 4 inches we measured from the allowance to the under bust. Then from there, from this point, I'll connect to the ½ inch that I marked. This is how my dart will look like. Your dart will stop at the under bust because you are using a breast cup. The next thing I'll do is to try and make sure that everything that I've marked is okay. So I'll bring back my breast cup. Remember to place it the way we did, though this breast cup is bouncy or shaky. I don't know how to explain it. The thing that I will do is to take my body measurement. I'm going to show you now. If you want to measure your bust, make sure that you measure with the cup placed on the pattern. Let me show you the disadvantage now. My bust is the bust that I'm using is 39 plus 2 inches. I marked it. The waist that I'm using is 27 plus extra 1 inch for that, and another 2 inches for seam allowance. Though I'll be using 1 inch for this seam allowance because I'm trying to sew a 2 corsets, a transparent corset. But if you're cutting for an opaque fabric, just make sure that you add 2 inches seam allowance. But here I'll be using 1 inch. I'll add 1 inch for that and 1 inch for my seam allowance. So I'll bring back the breast cup and remeasure my bust again so that you can see the difference. I've placed my breast cup right there. Then I'll go ahead and measure my bust again. My bust is 39, that is 9.75 plus 1 inch. You will see where my bust is. See the points where I measured without the breast cup and the points where I measured with the breast cup. You will see that the allowance has reduced. So I'll mark a round cup shape. I'll follow this cup shape and mark it round and trace the shape of the cup round on my pattern paper. Then this is what you will get. Sorry for the mistake. I only intend to draw only one line. So from that line where you have traced out the cup, you will go up with 0.4 inch. This 0.4 inch will serve as a seam allowance, because if you cut exactly without adding back this seam allowance, you will notice that your fabric will be bigger than your cup when you are joining it back to your fabric. So we'll mark a 0.4 inch that we use to join our cup back. I've marked out my 0.4 inch round, so I'll go ahead and connect the lines. So this is where I will cut out. I will not cut on the initial line that we traced from the breast cup. I'll go ahead and cut. This is very easy. I think it is the easiest way you can sew your corset. It is beginner friendly. I'll cut out the parts for the breast cut, and remember to cut out your armhole parts. Though I did not make my armhole deep because I want my corset to be a little bit up so that it will cover my chest more. So this is my center front, and if you place the cup, you notice that the allowance is smaller than the cup. This is how it is supposed to be. It shouldn't be on the same line with your initial tracing. So I finished cutting the front part. If you are sewing the corset I'm making, I want the back to be a bit open, only the lacing will cover it up. So what I'll do is that I'll place my center front on my center back. Then from there I'll go in with 2 inches. Remember, your back is supposed to have a 2 inches zipper allowance, but in this one we are subtracting 2 inches from the center back, meaning that it will be 4 inches wider at the back. So if you place your center front, you notice that instead of adding zipper allowance, we subtracted 2 inches. This is how you do it. Depending on how wide you want it or how slanted you want it, you can even make it up to 4 inches if you want, if you really want your back to be open. Then every other part on this corset will be equal. I'll not even the neckline, because I don't want it to go down, but we are coming to that. So they will be equal at the armhole. Make sure that they are equal at the armhole. As you can see, I've marked a point where the armhole will meet, and I'll trace out my center front. I'll also trace out my darts. So my darts will cut across the center back. It will not stop at a point. I want it to cut across my center back. I'm just trying to make sure that my dart is aligned. Well, I will roll this line. I'll mark my half inch on both sides. but if you want, you can actually leave it without marking your half inch. Then for the neckline, you can make it slanted if you want, but for this corset I just want it to be straight so that the back would not be showing much. I don't want the back neckline to be deep. So this is what I will cut out. Remember that we subtracted 2 inches from the center front, so I will shade that part. This is the part that we'll cut out from our center back. So I'll go ahead and mark my darts. I'll subtract half inch on both sides. So our back is ready. It is very simple. I think it's simple. Subtract 2 inches from your back part, from your center back. Then give your neckline the shape you feel like giving it, maybe a round shape or a V shape, but my own is straight. Then every other part will be equal. I'll go ahead and notch my dart. So this is our pattern, guys. This is the back part. So I'll go ahead and place the front and the back pattern. As you can see, everything is aligned. As you can see, the darts matched each other, and you can see where I subtracted the 2 inches from my back. So this is it for the pattern part. So I'll go ahead and cut out my fabric. I will use my pattern paper to cut out my fabric. Because I'm cutting a 2, I'll be folding 4. That means it will be doubled. I folded times 2 to give me 4 pieces. The center front will be on fold. If you want to open it, you can open it as well. So you cut on fold. Each part will be 2. You will double it so that it will not tear so quick. So this is it for my center front. I'll open it to show you guys what I mean. So this is it. They are equal, and if I go ahead and open them, you will see that they are 2 pieces. I have 2 pieces right here. So when you are joining, first of all, you will join these 2 pieces. So that I used a thick tool. I did not use a soft tool, not too thick but thick enough to withstand stretch. I'll cut out my back panel, and this time I folded twice to give me 4 pieces. The back part will be open. Remember, I did not open the center front, but this center back will be open because they will be separate at the back. I'll open them to make sure that I have two pieces on each side. So for the breast cup, it will always differ. So the breast cup that I'm using is a size 40. I'll measure from this point of the breast cup to the other point of the breast cut. I have 9 inches, approximately 10. So I'll be folding my fabric to cut a circle. I'll fold 5 by 5 because that is what to give me 10, or you fold more than that. I'll fold 5 and fold over again. Then you will measure out 5 inches or more than. Remember that I measured 9, approximately 10. So that's why I'm marking out 5 inches, because from the center of the circle, I'm marking from the center of the circle. So if you open up this circle and measure, the diameter will be 10. So you open your circle this way it will still be unfold, but 2 times now, just 2 pieces now. So you measure one inch on each side of the diameter of the circle. Then from there you will connect to the center of the circle. Remember, it's unfold. Then you will cut out that 1 inch. That 1 inch will serve as a contour or as a dart for your breast part. So if I open it up, you will see that I have 2 pieces here. I will show you how it looks like, but I'll go ahead and cut out another one for the other breast cup. Remember, I'm using 2 breast cups for this corset. I'll fold again. So I'll cut out the second part with what I've cut on the first part. As you can see, this part has a dart already, or a contour. I don't know how to explain it. So we'll go ahead and cut exactly what I have in the first piece. And if you open it up, this is how it look like. You can see it will, after joining it, it will cover the bra cup very well. It will blend on the bra cup. But if you just place it without contouring it, you will not get what you want. So I'll go ahead and cut out bias strip. I would have used a normal bias, but I won't do that because a normal bias has an opening at the other face. I don't know if you understand. I would have used a loop as well, but I can't get a loop for now, so I decided to cut out my loop by myself. I'll make it 1.5 inch or 2 inches. Then I'll fold and sew and turn it over and iron very well. Reason why I'm doing this is because I'll be inserting my boning inside this strip, so that it won't be showing at the outer side and it won't be showing on the inner side. Because if I use a normal bias strip or stripe or bias tape, it will be showing on the inside. It will cover the outside, but it will be showing, the boning will be showing on the inside. So I'll be cutting out my bias tape by myself. I'll fold it in order to hide our boning very well. So you cut as many as you want, depending on how many times you insert boning in your corset. This is all we have for this class, and please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video you'll be notified. Thank you guys, thank you all for watching. Please try to subscribe. Your girl is trying to grow. Thank you very much, and see you.